Today I'm going to talk about Charlie's history. Dark history. Okay, let's go. It says the internet has been gripped by a audio board like game called Charlie Challenge, but its origins are not what they seem. Let's see. What are they really? More than 2 million people have used the hashtag Charlie Challenge over the past 48 hours. It's a game which involves balancing pencils over the words yes and no on a piece of paper. Players ask questions which are supposedly answered by Charlie, a mysterious demon who spookily moves the pencils, if you believe in that sort of thing. 2 days ago, a Twitter user called @SunClue. Clue? I don't know what is this word. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct. Clue was one of the first to use the hashtag Charlie Challenge. It was also made popular by a number of big social media stars in the US. But where did the game come from? Several reports and tweets claim the game's origins are in Mexico. For example, one of the most retweeted videos about Charlie Challenge shows a popular Mexican beer brand and the Spanish words for yes and no. Okay? There's just one problem. The game has nothing to do with Mexican folklore. There's no demon called Charlie in Mexico, says Maria Elena Naves of BBC Mundo. Mexican legends often come from ancient Aztec and Maya history or from the many beliefs that began circulating during the Spanish conquest. In Mexican mythology, you can find gods with names like, oh God, what is this name? Tlaltecutli or Tezcatlipoca in the Nahuatl language. But if this legend began after the Spanish conquest, I'm sure it would have been called Carlitos Charlie in Spanish. Okay. Mexican demons are usually American inventions, she says. Really? Describing the game as a traditional Mexican way to summon the dead is probably a way to make it sound mysterious or meaningful. In the same way that the Ouija board has its roots in a clever bit of 19th century American marketing, rather than ancient Egypt. Another possible explanation in this YouTube video posted a year ago, which shows a slightly different pencil trick. It's in Spanish and its title translated as playing Charlie. Okay. I really don't have the internet to show you this video, but maybe I can. At the end of this video, if I could, I'm going to show this to you. If I didn't have internet connection, I'm sorry. Okay. This year-old YouTube video in Spanish might explain why the Charlie game is described as being Mexican, even though there's little evidence that it usually is. Blog by Mike Wending. Next story. Okay. So it was the history of Charlie, which they say it isn't in Spain. And so people just think it's in Spain. Okay, now I'll go and try to find some stories that are spooky about Charlie that I don't think it's real. I don't know Charlie is real or not, but I believe in anything. Because God can create any kind of creatures if he wants, and so I believe in anything and everything. Okay. Okay, guys, I found the true story of Charlie Charlie, what did happen to him, and why is he doing these things. And now I'm going to share my knowledge with you. Okay, Charlie was the husband of Krasu. After her death, he married another wife called Eva. And he had the passion for painting and art. And he decided to relocate in the Karasu's mansion with his wife. And means he decided to go to Karasu's mansion with his wife and live there. And that's a really crazy thing to do after your first wife is dead. But he didn't know about the presence of the Karasu who was waiting him for a long time. Okay. And Karasu identified her husband, so she hid herself in the secret room of the mansion. Ooh. She was ashamed of her aspect. And she should be. Charlie and Eva, after dinner, went to sleep. And during the night, the Krasu discovered the second wife, Eva, of her husband. And of course, jealousy. Okay. The Karasu was very angry, so she started to issue moans and weird sounds through the walls. Ugh. Charlie awoke and checked the whole house, but he didn't find anything. Then he went back to sleep, but those sounds made him a strong headache. For him, kinda. They slowly made him crazy. Eva didn't wake up that night. She was in a deep sleep. And at about half an hour. At about 1:30, then he woke up, still moans through the walls. Unable to control himself, he strangled his sleeping wife. After killing her, he walked out of the room. Oh my god. He took a canvas and began to paint the monster he had dreamed of. I think that voices just made him crazy and made him to kill his second wife. He made 8 equal paintings in that night. He placed these pictures in the points of the house where the noises were louder. And the Krasu possessed him. Yes, the Krasu did that. And if you know, there's a story about Krasu's death and everything about her life, and I can explain it later in other videos if you like. And completely crazy, Charlie ran into the cellar and hung himself. After his death, the Krasu ate the Charlie's and Eva's body. Oh. And if you don't know, Krasu is in the iHorror game. It's in her mansion, I guess. And Yes, it's where Eva and Charlie died. What a good ending. I really enjoyed it. Charlie's soul has been trapped in the monster. And then the monster with the soul of Charlie came out of the picture. He became the new ghost of the mansion. And if you know, in the iHorror game, he's in the game too. The Karasu had her revenge. Ha ha ha. Now the Karasu and Charlie will infest the house together for eternity. Well, it was the first time I was just reading this. It is so crazy and so scary. What is this? Really? Okay, now I'm just going to talk about some stories. That it's a 5 scary true paranormal Charlie stories. And so, yes, let's go and read the stories and get scared, of course. I don't know if I should believe or not. I don't know. And the thing that is really creeps me out. I'll tell you what creeps me out when I told you the story. There was a boy that was, for example, 15 years old. He was a teenager and he didn't really believe in ghosts and jinn and these things. And so one day he went to school and he decided with his friends to play Charlie game. And well, first of all, they asked some questions, but he didn't answer. And when they actually told him, "Is anyone there?" he answered yes. And they asked some other questions, normal questions about life and these things that you always go and ask it from your friends. And he answered them patiently and so good, and everything was okay. But when they wanted to leave school, they asked him, "Can we leave?" But he said no. Then they decided to ask some questions on the way to their houses. And they asked some questions again and again. And again, they wanted to ask him, "Can we leave?" And Charlie again said no. And so they went to the boy's house, and again they asked, "Can we leave?" And he said no. So they played for 1 and 2 hours in the house, and they noticed that the questions that they're asking are getting creepier and creepier. Like, did someone murder you? Or do you want to murder us? And both answers of these questions were yes. And they were started to get scared when they again asked, "Can we leave?" And Charlie eventually said yes. But they forgot something to tell him. Goodbye. And I forgot to tell that too. Because of that, I'm so creeped out. And after some days, the boy noticed that the shadows are moving and lights are just, there's some flickers about the lights, and there are many strange things happen to his house and to himself, and he doesn't know how much he can leave and how much time he has. Well, it is creepy, but I'm not sure it's true or not, because people, for being famous, just say some lies. and some people believe and some people not. Okay. Guys, there's some other stories about this, but I really don't want to talk about them right now. And okay. And guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe my channel, like this video if you enjoyed it, and comment any games you want me to play, any creepy things you want me to talk about, and any songs you want me to sing, and how can I improve my channel. And don't forget to follow my Instagram accounts, Nikki account, and my another account, second account, Lady Descendants account. And yes, again, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you soon, and bye.